tutorial video for how to go through the concept builders. Remember to click on them. You'll go to your account, then you scroll down the middle of a page where it says courses and tasks. Look over where it says 1D kinematics, click on that, and then you should have both name that motion and then graph that motion will be on there. I've already gotten to the page where you'll get. So when you click on the name that motion, it'll load on to 3 areas. Make sure your email's in there, that way it records things. So if you do one level but don't get to another in the same session, it'll save your work on that one level. So apprentice level only, 6 questions, 6 points only. Apprentice and master level, 8 points. Either of these, and wizard level, 10 points. So it describes this here. I'm going to do a question or so on the wizard level. Remember, there is always a help menu, but the idea is to view the animation below and find a verbal description that matches the motion. And you're going to toggle through these. There's 11 of them. So that looks like it's moving at a constant negative velocity, stopping, and then accelerating in a positive direction. So that's not right. So far, the first part of that's right. That's right too. So as long as the statement is correct, that can be one that fits. It might not be as complete as you'd like. So I'm going to check that. That looks good. I'll try one other one here. Should be pretty straightforward. There is no acceleration with that. It's not accelerating. That seems reasonable. I'll check that, and that looks pretty good. The directions are here. Help me is here. So you can go to basic idea about this question, learn more at the tutorial. Things like that. So the help menu is very helpful. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the main menu here. If you do that, it won't save your work if you're not done with a level. The next one is graph that motion. So you should get to a point where you pull that up. Again, it'll have your name down here or your email down here. Lets you know you're in the right spot. I'm going to start that. I'm going to go do a couple questions on the wizard level for this. So essentially you've got this. You're trying to match it with a graph. And again, there's going to be 11 graphs. So that one is going constant to the left. So it has a constant negative velocity. It might show me a position graph. It might show me a velocity graph. That is not a constant negative velocity. That is a constant negative velocity. When I look at it, there's no other position graph that would agree with this motion. If this was a position graph, that said position versus time, that would agree with the motion as well, but it doesn't. So I think that's it. This is going at a negative velocity. It's speeding up, so the velocity is getting more and more negative. The position starts off high and is going down. So that can't be it. I don't see it stop for any time. It's not a constant negative velocity. Again, I don't see it stop for any time as that position graph shows. It's definitely not going in the positive direction. The first part of this looks reasonable because the velocity is getting more and more negative. It's going faster in the negative direction, but the rest of this doesn't. Again, it's not going in the positive direction. It's not stopped. So it's a high negative velocity down to 0. That's one that could fool you, but it actually is starting off with a 0 negative velocity and going more and more negative. So I think if I had a velocity graph that started here and went down, that would be correct. Okay, this starts with a position. The slope of the position graph is getting more and more negative, and that tells me that the velocity is getting more and more negative, so I think this is the correct one. I'm just going to check. Yep, that doesn't look like it. This one, the position is getting more negative, but it's going slower at the end because the slope is flattening out, so that's not it. So I think I'm back at number 9. Okay, and so those are a couple examples. hopefully you do well on these and put in the time to think about it. And remember, just like with the last one, there is a help me menu for this as well.